So I think we'll just get right into the one about The Rock first, because that one was like the craziest to me, because he is probably one of the most influential people in the world right now. And I think it's kind of funny because you're too young to remember Miracle, but I grew up watching him wrestle.
I know that.
Yes.
Fun fact. I remember the stupid gif where he basically does that one eyebrow thing that he does a lot, his signature look.
The people's eyebrow. Come on.
But I didn't know what the term was called. Okay. But he would do that eyebrow and sniff the air. Yep. I remember that.
If you smell what The Rock is cooking, which is apparently a lot of what he's cooking is money, apparently.
That's true. Do you notice that he's coming out with a lot of movies and cartoons? He's going to be the voice of Crypto the Super Dog for Super Pets.
I don't know. I don't even know what that is.
I sent you the trailer and you didn't even watch it.
I haven't seen it. You'll have to resend it. If it was a day when we were working, I was probably really busy and just didn't.
I just sent it randomly.
Oh, okay.
I was like, you should watch this.
I'll watch it.
It's really cute.
I'll watch it tonight.
Because this is another reason why I say The Rock and Kevin Hart are actually a really good dynamic duo.
They're a power couple.
Yeah, they're secretly a power couple.
They're very much a power couple.
But yeah, they're both voice acting in that movie. So I'm excited.
All right. Well, let's see what. Look, they even used The Rock's catchphrase in here because there's no way they could. Let this go without saying something that says, "Wow, turns out I can smell what The Rock is cooking." The Rock, aka Dwayne Johnson, is literally the highest paid actor in the world at the moment, and it sounds like his net worth is only increasing since he commands huge amounts of money for films like Red Notice. Not to mention the fact that he's super savvy when it comes to social media. Find out how the dude is literally breaking Forbes financial records below, and please don't read this in front of your bank account. It's just rude.
Oh, dang.
That's actually pretty clever writing. We read a lot of articles, and I'm always appreciative when I read something that's actually fairly clever.
Yeah.
So.
Well, read it. What company it's from?
This is from Cosmopolitan, so I'm not exactly the target demographic for the. I talk a lot about that. Miracle sends me articles that I'm just never gonna find because nobody's gonna come in and find me trolling the Cosmo website to find stuff to talk about.
Or be at the local grocery store just looking at the newsstand.
Yeah, ooh, we could talk about this today, and people are like, it's kind of weird.
Dude, why are you reading that? But you remember when they used to talk about fornication?
No, I don't. Because, again, I'm not the target demographic for Cosmopolitan.
Yeah, that was the first thing that they talked about.
Okay.
Well, sorry. My bad.
We'll continue. Scooting right past that. It says, thanks for asking. So it says, we'll start back up here because the article continues in a weird way. It says, find out how the dude is literally breaking Forbes financial records below, and please don't read this in front of your bank account. It's just rude. Thanks for asking. That would be $400 million, according to Celebrity Net Worth. I'll give you a moment to process this news. I mean, that's a lot of money, but when I think of how rich people are, I guess Bezos is rich in stocks, and net worth is not the same thing as liquid income, right? So
wait, let me check it. Who costs more? Continue. Sorry.
What do you mean? Who costs more? Bezos is worth several billion.
Well, I wanted to see how much his net worth is compared to everybody else.
It should also be known that you should never take the net worth trackers online too seriously. Those things are often very inaccurate.
Yeah, because I remember when Kanye West was complaining that they didn't say he was a billionaire. He's like, do it right. I'm a billionaire.
Fix it for me.
They only track public income and wealth.
Yeah. So his earnings would not be, just maybe what he made in movies, which ends up being public record, but not what he's invested in.
Well, if he's invested in a company, that's public.
Okay.
Or it could be.
But it's stuff he buys that appreciates and gains worth wouldn't be, right? Or
it's mostly we know Bezos' worth because we know what Amazon's worth, and we know how much he owns.
Yeah, okay.
So, but everyone else, it's kind of they have to tell us.
One of the biggest and most annoying things in the entire world is that meme about Jeff Bezos could literally be Batman, but he chooses not to be. I'm I don't think you understand that net worth doesn't mean he has $2 billion in a bank account. Jeff Bezos could just end world hunger right now if he wanted to.
That's true, but he looks more like Lex Luthor.
He does. Yeah. Well,
with a crooked eye.
He probably does that on purpose. He probably gets especially after getting dressed down by that girlfriend of his who was all over Leonardo DiCaprio at that red carpet event. You didn't see that? There's this really funny video. They're at a red carpet and Bezos is talking to Leonardo DiCaprio, and the girl who's with Bezos is just crawling all over Leonardo DiCaprio. It's really, really funny.
Is Leo still a bachelor?
I don't know. I don't know. Judging by the way he was behaving, like he just like it's so funny too because he just like dismisses this woman and walks away.
Yeah. But I found out Jeff Bezos costs less than Elon Musk.
Yep. Oh yeah. Well, they kind of go back and forth.
Well, no, Musk's net worth is $297 billion, while Jeff Bezos is only 201.7.
Is that an old article? Because I think Musk is worth like 350.
Yeah, Musk's is.
It might be old, but I just searched it up. It doesn't say. It says they update it for December 2021. So I don't know.
But the point is, Musk and Gates, both their net worth is a lot tied to their companies, which are, that's stock price. So
Gates can.
So it says, casual answer. So how did The Rock make all his money? Casual answer, by being the highest paid actor in Hollywood. Forbes placed The Rock as the #1 actor on its list of highest paid celebs in 2020, reporting that he makes more than $20 million per movie, cashes in on small screen projects like the Titan games on NBC, and has a super successful Under Armour line called Project Rock. He really is a branding genius in a lot of ways. Like, look at those headphones.
Yeah.
On top of that, he has a production company which works with Apple and Ford. Ford? Interesting. Like Ford, the automobile company? Or Ford Models or something like that. It's interesting. It says, and has several savvy business investments, including in real estate, which we'll get into in a moment. The Rock's yearly earnings are wild, so it's asking questions as we go down here. It says, in 2018, The Rock earned $124 million per Forbes, making him the highest paid actor in the history of the magazine's Celebrity 100 list. He celebrated the achievement on Insta, writing, "I work extremely hard, but never anticipated in my wildest dreams I'd become the highest paid actor in Forbes history. I don't have a Harvard MBA, but my business philosophy and acumen have been shaped over time and through failure. My goal when I was wrestling in flea markets for $40 per match, well before the bright lights of WWE, is still the exact same goal I have today. Always put my audience first." What's interesting about that is, like, I followed wrestling fairly closely when I was younger and have seen documentaries on him, and I thought that he went straight to WWE right after he got out of the CFL. He played for Miami State, or for like the University of Miami, and then went and played like Canadian pro football. And I was under the impression that he went straight to WWE from there because his dad was a wrestler.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that flea market story is true. It probably is. I don't know why he'd lie about that, other than it, I mean.
It would be funny if he heard it from somewhere else and he's like, that sounds like my childhood.
Yeah, like he's like cynical me thinks like it sounds better to say that when in reality his dad was like a member of the first African American tag team champions in WWE. So he came from the biggest side of that industry already. But it sounds better if you say you wrestled for $40 a day.
Yeah, that's true.
But he does. But I will say he does put his audience first. Like, he's very engaged on social media with like the people, with his fans and stuff like that. So, and we're going to be talking about that a lot today because we're going to talk about Henry Cavill and we're going to talk about Simu Liu and we're going to talk about the fact that there is a shift in the way that celebrities interact with fans and critics, right?
Well, do you think it's also because like The Rock, he came from like old Hollywood where like they learn like you need to build a rapport with your audience so you can get like more people to like you, which equivalents to like more money into your pockets if like people like you more. Unlike like, for example, Simu Liu, who's like a new actor in Hollywood. He's a Canadian actor. Like, I'm not distinct because like The Rock, I just found out he's Canadian born. I didn't know that. I thought he was American born.
The Rock is?
That's what it says here.
What?
Because I was searching up his ethnic background.
That sounds like fake news to me. I thought The Rock was born in
Oh,
Florida.
my bad. I can't read.
I was like, that sounds like fake news.
Yeah, I can't read. Never mind. It says his dad was Canadian.
Okay, that makes. I wouldn't know for sure about that one. So
sorry, I just fact checked myself online.
We're not putting out fake news. We're fact checking ourselves right away.
Yeah, my bad. But yeah, his dad is Canadian born. Okay. But The Rock did live in New Zealand with his mother's family for a bit.
Okay.
Before going back to Hawaii.
Okay. So it says, meanwhile, The Rock's earnings in 2020 earnings were slightly more modest. He brought in $87 million during a pandemic. Keep in mind, we were in the middle of a global pandemic during these times. Forbes hasn't released its list of 2021's highest paid celebs, but stay tuned. What does The Rock make on Instagram? See, this is what we're talking about, cross-branding and stuff like that. It says, at this point, most celebrities make some amount of money doing sponsored content on Instagram, but The Rock does things kind of differently, and it has made him a fortune. According to Forbes, on top of getting upwards of $20 million per movie, not to mention back-end profits, he negotiates a separate 7-figure social media fee for every single film he appears in and promotes. So it says, social media has become the most critical element of marketing a movie for me. I have established a social media equity with an audience around the world, and there's value in what I'm delivering them. I'm going to read that again. Sorry. Social media has become the most critical element of marketing a movie for me, he explained. I have established a social media equity with the audience around the world that there's a value in what I'm delivering to them. Okay, I kind of understand what he's saying there. Apparently, this is one of the ways The Rock took in that $124 million in 2018, doubling his income from 2017, which was $65 million. Jesus Christ. So
you're saying he's rich?
So we're saying he's very, very rich, but more than he's business savvy, and he understands that he has to get along with fans to make his brand work.
Well, again, like how I was pointing out, so he's from old Hollywood, but they teach you to be nice to the fans. While like somebody like Simu Liu, who's like a new actor, they kind of have like this kind of like.
There's an entitlement. There's an
entitlement, or like that.
We'll get to it. We might save it for when we whine. I'm probably not going to whine as much as you, but I do have critiques on how he does it. So.
But I had so much faith in Simu Liu because he was on my favorite show.
What show is that?
Just Kidding News.
Okay, well, we will
on
talk
YouTube.
about it.
They're still running. I don't know if they well, actually YouTube brought them down and they promote their stuff on Patreon, but they do have clips on YouTube still. But he was on there. It makes me really sad because he seemed like a humble person.
It can go to your. I mean, a Marvel role is like the holy grail for most actors, so it can go to your head, right? Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.